Man, I was really hoping for this movie to prove me wrong, but God, here we go. My name is Chet, this here is ChetChat, and we saw Wonder Woman.
Before she was Wonder Woman, she was Diana, Princess of the Amazons, trained warrior. When a pilot crashes and tells of conflict in the outside world, she leaves home to fight a war to end all wars, discovering her full powers and true destiny.
Ultimately, how I felt about this movie was pretty bored, honestly. The main issue with this movie is that the pacing is just as bad as Man of Steel. So Man of Steel has this part in the movie, right in the beginning of the movie, which is really interesting and cool looking when they're on planet Krypton. And then right after that, it gets really slow until all the way in the ending when everything blows up and gets crazy. I feel like Wonder Woman follows the same thing where when you see Wonder Woman, Diana, played by Gal Gadot, she's at this, the island where the Amazonians live, and that part felt fun and interesting to me. It almost felt like it has that feeling of a comic book movie, where the last few DC movies didn't really feel like a comic book movie to me. It felt like this really serious movie with superhuman elements to it. But in the beginning of Wonder Woman, I felt like we had that feeling of being a comic book movie. I even put a smile on my face when I saw, you see like Bruce Wayne's truck pull up. It's like almost like a kind of delivery service or something. And it gave me that vibe of being a comic book, like it was in the realm of a comic book world. And then when the plot actually starts getting thick, it gets serious again, and we learn the truth about what war can do to people and the emotions of the human race in general. And it gets too real in a sense, I feel like. It gets away from that comic book aspect and it becomes this depressing movie about war. Hell yes, I'm gonna compare this movie to so many other movies because we're on our like 30th origin story in the last 17 years for a comic book movie, and honestly, I was hoping that this movie gave us a fresh take on an origin story, kind of like, I'll say, Civil War did for Spider-Man. In a sense, Spider-Man's origin in the MCU is in Civil War, and that was really cool how they did it, and it looks like they're gonna do something cool again with Homecoming coming out, and this is just me being hopeful. But to talk about a movie that already came out, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is actually Peter Quill's origin story to me, and I felt like that was a refreshing take on an origin story. It's not like you just see him being born and whatever, and then he gets abducted and he learns about the ways of being a space pirate or something. Nah, they kind of just turn it on his head and, develop him in a different way, and it felt interesting to me. Whereas this movie, Wonder Woman, follows the Captain America formula where you get introduced to this character and you see that character grow, and then they ultimately get put in this situation that will eventually make them save the world. And Captain America felt like it had better pacing to me, even though it's not one of the strongest MCU movies, but Wonder Woman's pacing was just so bad to the point that I told myself, I'm bored, I'm tired of watching this, I want to go home, and I kept looking at my watch, I'm like, just end this movie, please hurry up and end the movie. Other than the pacing issues though, the acting is alright. In the beginning it's kind of cringy, like it looks like people were still warming up to acting or something, but it ended up getting better in a comic book movie. You don't get like, great acting, it's just alright acting, it's nothing to, write home about. And the setting looks great, just the set looks nice. It looks like a really good movie. The costumes are great. I love the outfits. All the outfits are so cool. Although every outfit that Chris Pine put on, it looked like it was ill-fitting for some reason. Everything was just like all up on his neck. Like, I don't know what happened to your neck, Chris Pine. Other than the acting though, just the character development was not that great. I felt like everything was just on Wonder Woman's character. She's almost in every single scene, other than when they're actually talking about the antagonist in the movie, and they barely touch upon the antagonist. They just seem like radical war extremists that just want to wage war and win the war for Germany. Spoiler alert, this is World War II, I'm assuming. So you get like little tidbits about the antagonist, and you learn a lot about Wonder Woman, but Chris Pine's character is just kind of like this heart of gold character, I guess. I don't know. And you even have your ragtag group from Captain America. You got like, the bar guy and the minority people, and there's just too much copying going on. There's nothing fresh about this movie. I know there's nothing original anymore, but I just need a fresh take on an original concept, and that'll be good enough for me. But this movie does not deliver in that department. It's very slow, a lot of slow boring parts. And I'm not like somebody that's hungry for action all the time. I felt like Guardians of the Galaxy didn't have that many action scenes, but it almost felt like in Guardians actually that when the action scenes happened, it was taking away from the dialogue and the story. I often make the comparison that Guardians Volume 1 is Kill Bill Volume 1 and Guardians Volume 2 is Kill Bill Volume 2. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm dropping so many references. That just shows how unoriginal this concept is, but still, just having the freshness of an original concept could take your movie a long way. And again, Wonder Woman falls short. People were clapping at the end of the movie, I guess because they were excited about, the final conflict in the movie. And even the final conflict, I felt like was a cop-out by the director. There's a part where the movie could have ended, and I would have applauded if the director chose to end the movie right there. I was like, wow, this would have been so cool. That's the twist of the movie, that this happens. And then they do another type of twist that actually adds 30 more minutes to the movie, and I was like, oh, you just had to do this because it's a comic book movie, I guess. All right, whatever. So ultimately, I did not like Wonder Woman. I'm sorry. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's better than Batman vs Superman in my opinion, hands down, no doubt about it. But it's definitely not one of the better movies I've seen this year, let alone comic book movies. So I'm sorry, man. Wonder Woman, I hope you prove me wrong, but when I saw the trailers, I was like, this movie looks boring, and it proved to be boring. So that's about it for this episode. Give this video a like if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. From what I'm seeing on Rotten Tomatoes, it looks like I'm gonna get a lot of thumbs down because a lot of people like this movie. I don't know. More power to you if you like this movie. Great. It's fantastic that you love the movie. That's awesome. So let me know why I should like the movie. And again, I am not a comic book person, so I don't know about the origin of Wonder Woman. I just see her in Justice League every now and then in a cartoon or something. As somebody who reads comic books, let me know if this actually correctly portrays the comic book, or if it's just, made up just for the Justice League universe that they're making in the movies now. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and keep watching them movies, boy.